a piece of paper of ideas and strategies and different things that can be used to make changes in a particular area, in the area of the overlap of domestic violence and child maltreatment. And that issue is not going away. The idea that there is a lot of talk right now about with Green Book ending. And as people start having those conversations and talking more about it, there's a realization that Green Book isn't ending. The Green Book was more like a jumping off. It was a catalyst. It was a starting point. It was something to move the dialogues forward.
When we first began with Green Book, we had an opportunity to work with women who were involved in the child protection system. And what we realized was that we weren't seeing women who were involved in the child protection system, very few. And so the beginning of it was more like kind of peeling away and like, what the heck are you doing? Because we were seeing women whose parental rights are being terminated simply because they had been battered in front of their children. And we felt horrible to find out that we didn't even really know this was happening because we weren't seeing those women and we weren't hearing those kinds of stories from that system. And that was 5 years ago, and there were a few women who had already been kind of going through ASFA and honest to God were losing their parental rights to the point where we helped women sue. Not that we were successful, and so we watched women lose their kids for no good reason, and no other system trying to stop that. Today, I think that I would worry that that could still happen, but I wouldn't assume that that would happen again. That we do have a much stronger view into that system and with those families. At any time in our DVS or in our child protection office, if there's any indication of domestic violence, advocates are involved.
If we don't embed ourselves in systems that catch up battered women and don't give them what they need and make them lose their children, then we're not doing the work in an honest way. We have to recognize that this is a system, as hard as it can be to collaborate with, where women endure really bad things and lose their children. And they're never going to come to us if we're not there to be by their side as they go through the system.
We don't have to choose between who's better, the courts or the child protection services or the domestic violence community. All three systems have their place in reaching safety for women and children.
I have more resolve that we understood the system fairly well and that we have a role to play in changing it